So there's a couple things I want to talk about today. Some of the biggest mistakes that weight trainers make, or athletes, or other people training for a higher level, is that people always want to constantly push through. It's always push. It's always push. It's always push. And the problem with that is many people push through injuries, and their ego gets over them. So they want to push through the injuries because the movies like Rocky, other movies, they all depict the same guy training with pain. And the truth of the matter is your body's not going to take it. You're going to have a short career and your body's just going to break apart. So the main thing that you want to do if you're going to start training, or if you want to be efficient, if you want your body to be efficient, you got to work out those imbalances. And when I say imbalances, I mean the imbalances that you get from the different sports you play. Let's say that you're a baseball player and you consistently throw with your right arm. There's definitely going to be an imbalance in your body somewhere. Or if you're a basketball player and you're constantly jumping off your left leg, or you're reaching up to slam this way, you're going to get short on one side and strong on the other, and your body's going to be torquing differently. And if you bring that into the weight gym and you push through those imbalances, it's just going to be like a poor piece of equipment that you're using out in the construction equipment. It's just going to rip apart. And you got to think of your body as a support mechanism. If one of the support goes out, it's going to break down all around it. I'm a prime example of somebody that has tried to train through injuries. I had scoliosis, and I used to weight train all the time, but it was mainly for glamour. And, I just wanted to get big muscles, which was bullshit. And what I started to realize is that I wasn't getting any more athletic. I wasn't getting any faster with any of my sports. I wasn't really getting any bigger either. That's another thing. Your body will actually stop growing and stop building mass just so you won't get injured. You'll actually stop growing because your body is smarter than you are. Your body will be like, okay, I can't build any more muscle around these imbalances, so I'm gonna tell this muscle to stop growing. For me, my biggest imbalance was I had no glutes. I'm a hockey player, and I used to go on bus trips all the time during junior hockey. And when you're in bus trips all the time, you're sitting down, and your psoas is short, and your hip flexors are getting really short. And what happens over time is, you go on a bus trip, you get really tight. Then right after you get tight, you go out and you play a hockey game. Well, you're using a tight muscle, and then you're going to go use it explosively. So you're going to build up tightness, and then everything's going to lock up, and you're going to use the wrong muscles. So for me, I was not using the biggest muscle group in my whole body, which was my glutes. I literally had no glutes. My lower back would fucking kill me. Like, there would be times when I got stuck at the hockey rink for 30 minutes because my lower back spasmed, and I had to crawl out and call someone for help. It was quite embarrassing. I was only 17. I had scoliosis. I was majorly fucked up. And, in the back of my head, I always thought, I got to train harder. I'm not training hard enough. I'm not training hard enough. And that's the biggest mistake, is you say, you got to work hard. You got to work hard. The thing is you got to work smart. When I say work smart, it means when you're sitting there watching TV, are you leaned over on one side like this the whole time? Because, are you always putting a knee up like this when you're sitting down? Are you, what are your habits? You got to look at your habits when you walk through. Look, you got to be vain. You got to be real vain about your body. You got to look in the mirror and really be like, okay, what's kind of twisted here? What's kind of cord? But, it's kind of hard to do it yourself. But the main thing is you got to do a certain amount of exercises. For me, I couldn't even do a squat, so that's one exercise. If you can't do a full squat, there's definitely some imbalances going on there. But the main thing that you need to do to find out these imbalances is do yoga. And yoga, there's a lot of mixed results around yoga, but what yoga is going to do is it's going to put you through many different poses. Tons of poses, and you're going to get to a pose where one side's going to be harder than the other. And yoga is all about building symmetry, and you're going to go in there and you're going to find when you're doing a hip stretch, one hip might be tighter than the other, or when you're doing a twist or any kind of stretch, you're going to be finding that you have one side that's, it's going to be off level. And really, there's no point in trying to train hard or trying to train through that, because you're not using every bit of your muscle as efficiently as you should. You're not using your body like you could. Everybody talks about, to be a good athlete, you gotta blah blah blah, work hard, but that's bullshit, man. It's all about using your body as a whole. For me, I told you I didn't have glutes. What that means is that my hip flexors were, they were so tight. When I would skate real hunched over. And when you're real hunched over, all you use is your quads. And my quads, they're still quite big, but they're not the biggest part of my muscle. They used to be way bigger. And, if your quads are big, it's not a very athletic, you look at some of the bodybuilders, they have huge quads, but a lot of them, sometimes they're just glamour muscles, because your posterior chain is weak, and it's all this front that gets built up all the time. You're slashed on your computer, working all those front muscles. And for me, it was my quads were big, my glutes were turned off. I had scoliosis twisted this way, so I got at the skating rink, and I was using all quads. And when you're leaning over using all quads, and I was a fairly good hockey player. I'm going to the next level right now, and this is going to be kind of funny because I'm at the break where I'm going to be going to Europe and I'm trying to play pro hockey. But I'm not going to do that from working hard. I haven't been on the ice in 6 months. All I've been doing the last 6 months is working out my imbalances and working out. I've actually lost weight, but I'm stronger than I've ever been in my life, because my body as a whole is not going to get injured like it was before. I was injured all the time, and it's because I was always constantly pushing. But for me, as a hockey player, I had the big quads, no glutes, tight hip flexors, and hockey, you got to have glutes. Those are your acceleration muscles, and I didn't have them. So my acceleration, the quick starts in hockey, side to side, stop starts, I did not have it. I was so slow. My quick starts were so fucking slow. I was slow as molasses. And, I'd lean far over, and, I couldn't turn good, because I couldn't turn. And when you turn in hockey, you got to really center your body over itself. And you got to be really lengthened on your sides. Your obliques got to be stretched out, because when you're turning, the best skaters are flexible. And I'm here to prove some people wrong, because I'm from well, I guess I shouldn't say where I'm from. Well, I'm from North Carolina. And this year's going to be the year for me. I'm not saying what level I'm going to make it to or where I'm going to play, but I know for a fact I can do something pretty significant, getting a late start with my ice hockey career. And it hasn't been having the best coaches. It hasn't been, the best genes or the best whatever bullshit you want to be. It's been being aware. It's being aware of your body. So many people are not aware of their bodies. And you got to be aware of your body. You got to find out where you're imbalanced. Look at what sports you play. Go to yoga class. It's the main thing you got to do is go to yoga, get your imbalances worked out, and then you can do strength training. And you'll get stronger eventually, but the biggest illusion is, your coaches are constantly going to tell you to push through the injury, push through this, and you got to be smart about your body, you know your body better than anybody else, and I'm here to tell you that if you work smart, you can get somewhere.